everybody, and welcome back to another Rosh Reviews, where today we are in a Subaru Forester, and not just any Subaru Forester, because this thing is the STI version. And I know what you're thinking. They made a Forester STI? Yes, they did. And this thing, it's pretty damn awesome. So let me tell you about this car, because it's got that traditional Subaru blue paint color. Absolutely love that. You know, we've got the big bonnet scoop up front, the STI seats, the STI wheel in here, that EJ uncanny noise out the back. It sounds so good. And this thing is a 6-speed manual. Now, this vehicle was only sold in Japan. So this is a proper JDM vehicle, and you had to import this thing if you wanted one here in Australia. Now, they did not make a lot of these cars. I'm not exactly sure how many were produced, but it was only for a couple of short years. I believe from 2004, which this model is, up until something around 2006. So yeah, these things are quite rare. Now, just pulling up onto some corners here, look, you know, all-wheel drive. We got the 6-speed manual transmission, which feels really nice to drive. We've got the Japanese girl talking to us in here. And mate, this thing has got some go. It really does. And, you know, the fact that you're in kind of a big, practical, you know, SUV type vehicle here, but you've got all this goodness that goes along with like the WRX and even the STI in this, man, it's pretty cool. Now, to the bonnet of this thing, we've got the EJ25. So, you know, a lot of people know this engine, they love it. This is a 2.5 liter flat 4 boxer engine. It's turbocharged, and make these things with their unequal length headers make a pretty glorious noise. And these things from factory would have been making about 195 kilowatts. Now, the owner has done some slight mods to this car. We've got an NVIDIA exhaust system on here. He has upgraded the turbo to the newer STI gen, so the VF48. And he does actually have the Process West intercooler kit on this as well. Now, he has taken this to the dyno. He's recently had this thing tuned, and it made 220 all-wheel kilowatts and about 430 newton meters. So, you know, it's a pretty healthy gain here. And I gotta say, you know, getting into it, man, it feels healthy in this thing. Now, these only weigh about 1.5 ton, which actually sounds pretty light considering this is, you know, an SUV. But my goodness, you got the all-wheel drive, the 6-speed manual, nice short throws, feels really good in the hands here, easy to heel toe. You know, you've got these awesome factory gauges up here on the dash in the middle. Yeah, this is a cool place to sit. Really does feel unique. Just hearing that exhaust. Yeah, wow, you know, for a, you know, a family-sized SUV, basically is what we got here. This is a lot of fun. Manual with the flutter, the sound of that EJ. Oh yeah, mate, this is cool. Now, it was only just a couple of months ago in the last WRX STI, had an exhaust system on it, some minor stuff, and I was really impressed. You know, it was fun on the back road, punchy power, just the gearbox was great, pedal position, driving. I really love that car. You know, that was the new last gen that, you know, was just discontinued. This, we're talking 2004, man, I can still feel that car in this thing. And You know, the gear shifter, the seating position, the punchy delivery of power, it's all here. And man, it is fun on this back road, I gotta tell you. Now price, from my research, these are quite hard to research because, you know, whenever you're looking at something originally sold in Japan only, it's hard to get an exact price, but from my research, it was going to equate to roughly 40,000 Australian dollars new, which that sounds like a bargain, which cars in Japan are cheaper anyways. But nowadays, if you're going to buy one of these things here in Australia on the used market, you're still going to be paying about 30 to 35 grand because these things are rare. You don't see them all that often, and they're collectible, they're cool, they're sought after, and that chases some money, this thing. This really is like the definition of a JDM vehicle because it's so basic in here. You know, the owner has put an aftermarket head unit in here and like put a different steering wheel on here. So look, it is got a different shaped steering wheel than factory, but you know, the gauges are factory, the pod gauges up on the dash are factory, you know, the seats are factory, and they are just really cool, really sporty, but everything else is just like cheap plastic, like there's not many features, like it's like an economy car that they have just put a shitload of performance parts on. And that is so Japanese, and I love that because it's true. You know, you even look at Silvias and any of those awesome JDM cars from the early 2000s, the late 90s, they're basic. They're so basic, but they just made epic engines on them, put a shitload of cool performance parts, and that's all we wanted. And that's all we still want. Again, you know, look, the one thing that is a bit peculiar about this car is it's a common issue the owner's telling me, but you can really hear the wind come through the air vents. So the faster you go, the louder it kind of gets, which is a little bit funny, but you know, you get used to it. But again, just on a back road, ripping gears, hearing that EJ, that flutter, you know, heel toe is easy, and it just grips. Punchy, it's fun. Oh yeah. Those Brembos stop you well enough as well. Yeah, it's punchy, this thing. It is just, it's really only that up high weight that makes this thing feel a little bit more uneasy through the corners. But, you know, just on a nice road, you know, just working through that power band, you know, hit and boost. Man, this thing is fun. Just dropping this car down. Yes, it is great. It is so much fun. It's a really healthy number, this, you know, on the street. And yeah, awesome, awesome car, this. All right, we're driving this 0 to 100, guys. It's claimed in about 5.5 seconds. No launch control. We're resetting the draggy. And no, we're just gonna see what we can get. So here we go. Hey, and that felt a lot better. That felt pretty good off the line. We didn't really bog much. The car felt pretty good, man. And geez, this 6-speed, it's tight. The short throws on it, like, man, This is a real fun driver's car, and the fact that it's in this like big practical SUV, it's so cool. Let's see what that time actually was. Now the time was, guys, 6.3 seconds. Now we did go uphill slightly by about 2.5%, and look, I don't want to keep clutch dumping this thing at like over 3,000 RPM. So I'm gonna stop there, but I really do feel like if you were an expert in this car, getting the shifts perfectly right, you could definitely achieve that 5 seconds. Without a doubt, I feel like. It's pretty healthy, this thing, it really is. So I'm gonna finish the video off here today, guys. Look, a huge, huge thank you to the owner for bringing down his STI Forester, because look, these things are just, again, incredibly rare. So cool to actually see in person, get in one of these things and show off for you guys. It's a blast. You can fit the whole family in this thing, put the dog in the back, and still run amok on the back road over the weekend. So I love this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here. We'll see you on that next video.